Good evening. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. Bahrain ranks first among Arab states in ground and port infrastructure. Bahrain wins WHO's World No Tobacco Day 2022 award. New registration date announced for first grade students. Tsunami warning issued for Indian Ocean region. Kuwait Assembly approves residency law changes. News in detail. Bahrain ranks first among Arab states in ground and port infrastructure. Bahrain has been ranked first among Arab countries and second in the Middle East and North Africa region in ground and port infrastructure, according to the World Economic Forum's 2021 Travel and Tourism Development Index. The report also highlighted strong placements for Kingdom in other areas, including ranking 12th globally in business environment. Amongst GCC countries, Bahrain ranked second in the following areas: travel and tourism policy, price competitiveness, prioritization of travel and tourism, and demand pressure and impact, measured by inbound length of stay, seasonality, and international tourist arrivals, interest in cultural and natural attractions, and quality of town and city centers. Bahrain wins WHO's World No Tobacco Day 2022 award. Bahrain's National Committee to Control Smoking and All Types of Products of Tobacco has been granted the World No Tobacco Day 2022 award by World Health Organization during its 75th General Assembly held in Geneva on May 22nd to 28th. In recognition of its accomplishments in the area of tobacco control, on the occasion, Health Minister Faika bint Said Al Saleh extended sincere thanks, appreciation and gratitude to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, for their unlimited support for the health sector, contributing to the kingdom's success in attaining innumerable achievements and earning its global acclaim. The award is granted marking the World No Tobacco Day 2022, which is celebrated on May 31st under the theme Tobacco's Threat to Our Environment. In this regard, the minister asserted that Bahrain will continue its efforts to combat smoking and reduce its risks, as reflected in the establishment of the National Committee to Control Smoking and All Types and Products of Tobacco, comprising members from various public and private institutions. Nasser bin Hamad meets with British Prime Minister. Representative of His Majesty, the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, affirmed growing relations between Bahrain and the United Kingdom, thanks to the vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the support of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince and Prime Minister. His Highness was speaking during a meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He praised deep historical relations between the two friendly countries and growing cooperation and coordination in various areas. He also commended the efforts of the British Prime Minister in continuing joint relations between the two kingdoms. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa discussed with the British Prime Minister a number of topics as well as regional and international issues of common interest. Health Minister meets WHO Chief. Health Minister Faika bint Said Al Saleh today met the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, on the sidelines of the 75th World Health Assembly currently held here. The minister conveyed the congratulations of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to WHO Chief following his re-election to his post. She wished WHO every success in its next session, affirming the Health Ministry's support for all WHO's programs and activities. Mr. Al Saleh commended Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus' outstanding management of WHO, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The two sides discussed areas of cooperation between Bahrain and the World Health Organization, including the future plans and programs to confront outbreaks and infectious diseases. WHO chief expressed thanks and appreciation to Bahrain's government and people, commending its efforts In support of WHO's role, particularly in combating the COVID-19 pandemic, he indicated that the kingdom is known for its successes in the field of medicine and healthcare, thanks to the government's tireless efforts to support the health and treatment system. His Highness National Security Advisor attends unveiling of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's statue at Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. National Security Advisor and Royal Guard Commander Major General His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa today paid a visit to Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst in the UK, where he met His Highness Prince Edward, Earl of Essex and son of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and Royal Military Academy Sandhurst Commandant Major General Duncan Capps. His Highness Sheikh Nasser attended the unveiling of the statue of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst as part of Platinum Jubilee celebrations marking the 70th anniversary of Her Majesty's accession to the throne. His Highness the National Security Advisor affirmed the depth of the long-standing friendship relations between the two kingdoms, which are growing steadily at all levels, especially regarding the exchange of expertise and cooperation in the military. His Highness Sheikh also met a number of Bahraini candidate officers studying at Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, wishing them every success in their studies and urging them to benefit from the prestigious academy's military programs and professional training. New registration date announced for first grade students. The Ministry of Education has announced a new date for the registration of children who have not registered for the first grade of the 2022-2023 academic year. Unregistered children born between 2014 and August 2016 and their parents who have to report to Ministry's Hall in Isa Town on Tuesday, May 31st from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Parents are required to download the e-forms of registration and that of the Health Center from the Education Ministry's website www.moe.government.bh. Print them, fill in them and bring them along with the necessary documents. The documents include original birth certificate of the child, valid original and copies of the ID smart cards of children and their parents, card readers of child's ID cards, valid original and copies of the passports of the children and their parents with valid residence visas. 56% drop in COVID-19 cases over 2 months. Bahrain has witnessed a 56% drop in the daily average of COVID-19 cases over the last 2 months. The month of March recorded 39,586 infections, setting a daily average of 1,276 cases, while the following months witnessed a dramatic slump, signaling a gradual return of the country to normality. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Tsunami warning issued for Indian Ocean region. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of East Timor on Friday, although there were no immediate reports of damage. A tsunami advisory group said the quake may be capable of generating a tsunami affecting the Indian Ocean region. The United States Geological Survey said the quake struck at a depth of 51.4 kilometers off the eastern tip of Timor Island, which is split between East Timor and Indonesia. The Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System issued the tsunami warning for the region. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Kuwait Assembly approves residency law changes. The National Assembly's Interior and Defense Committee approved on Thursday key changes to the country's residency law, including allowing residents to obtain a maximum 5-year residency, property owners a 10-year residency, and investors a 15-year residency, while allowing Kuwaiti women to sponsor their children for a 10-year residency. The changes stipulate that a resident must leave the country if their residency expires and is not renewed unless they obtain a new residency permit. According to the amendments, the Interior Minister has the right to deport expatriates with legal residence permits for security reasons or public interest, or if they don't have a legitimate source of income. Saudi achieves second highest jump travel and tourism rankings. Saudi Arabia has achieved the second biggest improvement in ranking among 117 countries featured in the World Economic Forum's Index on Travel and Tourism. Between 2019 and 2021, Saudi Arabia moved up to 33rd from 43rd as its score rose by 2.3%. The 170 countries accounted for about 96% of the world's direct travel and tourism gross domestic product in 2020. Among Middle East and North Africa countries, the UAE ranked highest at 25th, Qatar was placed at 43, Egypt at 51, Bahrain at 57, Jordan at 64, Morocco at 71, and Tunisia in 80th place. Japan topped the index rankings with the US in second, followed by Spain, France, and Germany. Abu Dhabi tops list of least traffic congested capitals. Abu Dhabi has been ranked as the world's least congested capital according to the TomTom Traffic Index for 2021, based on the annual survey of 416 cities in 57 countries by the Global Navigation Services Company. Abu Dhabi recorded 11% congestion level. The new ranking of the UAE capital is based on a combination of criteria, including the rate of traffic congestion at intersections and streets at various times during the day, including peak hours. The study also analyzed the number of traffic lights and their programming and contribution to the development of traffic flow in cities. It also examined the quality of traffic light systems in terms of their long-term viability and weather resistance. Saudi authority states 50% food allergies caused by eating outside. The Saudi Food and Drug Authority revealed in a recent statement several facts and information about food allergies and their causes. 50% of food allergy cases that affect humans have been found to be caused by eating food from outside the home. It is believed that 90% of food allergy cases were due to some of the common food types, which number about 170 different food items. The symptoms caused by food allergies are headache, nausea, vomiting, sneezing, coughing, fainting, difficulty in breathing, stomach pain, and skin rashes, while the allergy triggers are inhalation, touching, and ingestion. Saudi plans to introduce self-driving cars on trial. Saudi officials are currently discussing ways and means to introduce self-driving cars to the kingdom on a trial basis. The Ministry of Interior, in cooperation with the Saudi Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority, organized on Thursday a workshop entitled Self-Driving Cars in the Kingdom Between Reality and Hope at the Security Forces Officers Club in Riyadh, with the participation of a number of employees of the ministry and other relevant parties. The workshop reviewed the current situation and the international experiences applied in self-driving cars and discussed their use in the kingdom, the appropriate place to try self-driving cars, developing a preliminary plan for the pilot application, and defining the initial requirements into relevant authorities of implementation. Buildings shaken as magnitude 6.4 earthquake strikes off East Timor. An earthquake of magnitude 6.4 struck off the coast of East Timor on Friday, the European Mediterranean Seismological Center said, prompting some people in the capital Dili to flee buildings, though a tsunami was ruled out. There were no immediate reports of damage or casualties, but witnesses said the quake was felt strongly, Reuters reported. The Indonesian Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency said the quake did not trigger a tsunami threat warning. The earthquake was felt by residents in the Australian city of Darwin, more than 700 kilometers away, according to Australian media reports and residents' posts on social media. COVID-19 cases mostly drop, except for the Americas, said WHO. The number of new coronavirus cases and deaths are still falling globally after peaking in January, the World Health Organization said in its latest weekly assessment of the pandemic. The UN Health Agency said there were more than 3.7 million new infections and 9,000 deaths in the last week, drops of 3% and 11% respectively. COVID-19 cases rose in only two regions of the world, the Americas and the Western Pacific. Deaths increased by 30% in the Middle East, but were stable or decreased everywhere else, Associated Press reported. WHO said it is tracking all Omicron subvariants as variants of concern. It noted that countries which had a significant wave of disease caused by the Omicron subvariant BA2 appeared to be less affected by other subvariants like BA4 and BA5, which were responsible for the latest surge of diseases in South Africa. Nearly 200 cases of monkeypox in more than 20 countries, WHO said. The World Health Organization said nearly 200 cases of monkeypox have been reported in more than 20 countries, not usually known to have outbreaks of the unusual disease, but described the epidemic as containable and proposed creating a stockpile to equitably share the limited vaccines and drugs available worldwide, the Associated Press reported. During a public briefing on Friday, the UN Health Agency said there are still many unanswered questions about what triggered the unprecedented outbreak of monkeypox outside of Africa, but there is no evidence that any genetic changes in the virus are responsible. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.